Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Friday afternoon live session where we're going to be updating you on the most important things that happened this week in immigration. Now, we're going to talk about breaking court decision yesterday that is now changing the way investors are able to get their green cards. I'm going to tell you all about that, the biggest changes that are happening right now to the EB-5 program based on a court ruling from yesterday. We're going to talk about flexibility coming from UCIS with respect to requests for evidence, motions to deny, and things like that. Extension of time for filings. This was just announced a couple of days ago. I'm going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about Senate Democrats and also what's happening in the Senate with respect to the new budget plan, how that's going to impact the future of immigration, and what's happening with upcoming bills with respect to immigration reform and things like that. So I'll cover that as well. So this has been a packed week. I will also try to answer a few questions from our live viewers. I can see a lot of you are joining right now, Hema and Georgette and Richard, and many of you, I see them. Say hello, let me know where you are tuning in from, and I will be addressing some of your questions as well. So let's jump right in. Welcome. Many of you already joined us right now, so let's start with our immigration updates for this week. The biggest thing that I wanted to talk about right now is the EB-5 program. The biggest change that we have from yesterday's court decision is that the amount of investment is now being reduced from $900,000 back to $500,000. Now, why is this happening? This is happening because the federal judge stated that the DHS secretary back in 2019, when this was announced, didn't have the authority to make that decision, to make those changes, and therefore this is violating the APA and reverse back to what we had before 2019. So by way of introduction, the EB-5 Immigrant Investor Program is a program where immigrants that are able to invest either directly in a business, $1 million or more, or in a regional center program where the government authorizes certain projects, the investors pull the money in there, they keep it there for 5 years, and during this time, the money stays there, they're able to apply for green cards. Well, in 2019, the amount was increased to $900,000. They made also quite a few restrictions on the program, and as a result, it went down by almost 80%. Remember, this is valuable funds that are essential to the US economy, and a lot of these investors were not interested anymore to invest in the United States. And the decision from yesterday is going to bring the confidence back into this program. Let's see here. I made a couple of notes here. So we'll see what happens. The point is that right now is the program itself, the EB-5 program itself, is set to expire at the end of June. So we are waiting for Congress, hopefully, to extend this program. And if it's going to be extended, obviously until further notice, it's going to be back to $500,000 investment. And we'll see. I mean, the government may, the USCIS may appeal this. I mean, there may be some litigation. But as of now, for a lot of these investors that are interested to invest in this program, it is back. It is back to the original amount of $500,000. So like I said, if you have any questions, post them in the comments below. And I will be trying to answer your questions. Some of them I'll do live, and others I'll go back into the comments of this video and I will address them as well. So next thing that happened is that Senate Democrats budget plan. Let's talk about that budget plan. Based on a preliminary outline that was released this week, they would set aside 150 billion to create a pathway for residency. This is what a lot of you are waiting for to hear, and I'm getting a lot of comments every single week. When is immigration reform is going to pass? When will the DREAM Act and the Dream and Promise Act will pass? Well, if this is going to happen, if the budget plan will pass, they set aside 150 billion to create a pathway for residency, including DACA, including TPS, and eventually they're going to open it up to more people that are currently here undocumented. Like I said, HR 6, there was also a hearing last week about that, and that's specifically in the Senate version of what was already passed in the House with respect to the DREAM Act and the TPS. So there was pretty good discussion, but again, they specifically said that they're not going to be supporting any comprehensive immigration reform unless there's going to be any provisions in that bill about border security and more, more things that will give them confidence that more undocumented immigrants are going to be able to come here without any protection. So we'll see what happens. But again, the fact that the discussion is up there, the fact that they're talking about it, it is really important to know that something big is going to happen. And hopefully we're going to see something after the summer starting to happen. Remember also that, and that's a video that is going to come up probably by Monday, where I put an update on the litigation that is happening right now. We've got 3 major lawsuits that were filed against the State Department because they're refusing to issue visas. We have a lot of people that are stuck overseas. They're not able to come back. The U.S. embassies are refusing to issue visas. Some of them, they are blaming the travel ban. Some of them, they are blaming other factors. But the reality is that they are obligated to issue those visas. And therefore, these lawsuits that were filed, 2 lawsuits that are currently trying, one of them is a preliminary injunction, trying to force the State Department to start issuing visas over again. And also, one big lawsuit that was filed specifically to help DV lottery applicants. And this one is also essentially addressing the factors that now that we have a 4-tier system of priority of who's getting visas, well, guess what? DV lottery winners from 2020 and 2021 are at the very low priority. And therefore, this lawsuit is saying it's not fair. They need to go back. They are green card. They applied for a green card in the right way. They want it, and they should be able to get those green cards just like anybody else. So we'll see what happens with those lawsuits as well. And finally, a new policy update from UCIS was just released yesterday that is extending flexibility on responding for requests for evidence, motions to reopen, and certain appeals all through September 30th, 2021. As you know, they started this policy in April of 2020. If you have deadlines, you're not able to get certain court records or certain immigration government records because of the closure of these offices. Well, now you have flexibility of 60 extra days to respond to all these things, requests for evidence, motions to reopen, and further. And so you have more time to work on your cases, so you don't have to worry about losing the deadlines. Remember, these are things that are happening more and more. UCIS is working to improve their online system as well. They're going to be moving the opportunity to allow people to reschedule fingerprints online as well. That system is going to reopen very soon. And as I mentioned in previous videos, they're expanding the premium processing as well to further applications. So these are great news, and I'm very excited to report those to you. I'm going to take a couple of questions from you guys that are here. Remember, before I do the questions, if you're here for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to be notified so you don't miss any of our live videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. And also, as always, if you need my help, if you want to talk to me about your case specifically, feel free to text me 619-483-4549. This is specifically for you guys on YouTube. Use that number to set up a consultation with me to be able to get the help you need. So let me take a couple of questions here and see what we get here. Hi Mutuli, Hema, Stephen. Stephen has a good question. Is there any hope for K1 in the Philippines? We can never find any clues or progress with their reopening. Now, remember that Manila, just like Moscow and a few other embassies, are really, really difficult. They are not fully resuming operations because of their internal procedures. And therefore, the options that we are left right now is trying to use the national interest exceptions. We've been having a lot of success with that for K1 visa specifically. So if you qualify for the national interest exception, make sure to text me, set up a consultation so we can help you. Also, in some cases, we advise our clients to relocate, to move the appointment to a different embassy that is actually working in a better way. And Manila has a few surrounding embassies over there. So, Stephen, feel free to reach out and let's talk about your case separately. But these are some strategies. We've got, how do I think if UK embassy is taking K1 visas? Yes, of course they are. In fact, UK is definitely doing much better right now. They're working on a better capacity. They're not fully reopened as we expect them to, but they're doing much better. We've got a question from Pedro. Can I travel back to the US with a 539 case pending? I missed the biometrics appointment because I left the US because my classes started at my home country. Now remember, Pedro, if you left when your case was pending, your case is completely gone. It's gone. So if I'm reading your question correctly, you had a 539 pending, you left, you missed your biometrics, your case is now finished. You have to refile upon entering the United States. Candice, I applied for my citizenship since May of last year and haven't heard anything. I had to renew my green card to keep my job. Any idea why it's taking so long? Very good question. Remember, we still have backlogs. We still have backlogs throughout the country, and N400s is taking longer. It is crucial for you to follow up with UCIS. It is crucial for you to check on your case. If you have an attorney, let your attorney do it. But it is important to check because they have severe backlogs. And I tell all my clients, renew your green cards because you just never know when you're going to be able to get your interview. So, but they're definitely doing better. They're definitely working faster right now. Faster than three months ago, and hopefully you will get your interview very soon. But you need to follow up with them. You need to make an inquiry. Use the Ombudsman's office. It's a special unit that UCIS has to check on your case and see why it's taking forever. Also, guys, you see at the bottom of my screen we have Immigration U, our new membership that we launched last week to help you. If you're going through the immigration process, you have all these questions, you're stuck, you're frustrated, you don't know what's going on. Once a week, we meet on Zoom inside the community. We have videos there. We've got tutorials. We've got checklists. Every week, I meet with you guys inside the community to answer your questions outside of this forum, in private, in a safe way. So sign up, immigrationu.com. I want to see all of you in there so we can help you and we can work with you on your cases from inside our membership. This is something that does not exist in the immigration world to the level we've built it. We've got video tutorials, we've got checklists, and we've got the weekly Zoom call that we meet every single week to answer your questions. Whether you have an attorney, whether you do this on your own, we are there for you. Check it out. It's beautiful, state of the art. Let's see. Q, will N400 application delay in general pause your 751? So, question is, somebody has a 751 removal of condition pending and they're filing an N400 at the same time before an approval of 751. I personally do not recommend for you to do that. It's not going to delay, but it's going to create confusion. You're going to have two cases pending. Get your 751 approved and only then file your N400. Let me take one more question, guys. One more question, and then I will continue answering your questions in the comments. I applied for I-130. I haven't heard from them. So remember, I-130s are also backlogged. Depends where you file them. Check. Go to the USCIS website. Search for processing times. I'm gonna make a video specifically showing you how to check processing times updated. And then you can see, there's a pull down menu, type in I-130 where your processing center is, and you'll see they're taking a long time right now. I-130s are taking a long time. You cannot really expedite them, unfortunately. But be patient. I know they're working on it, and I know they're trying to move the needle faster. So anyway, guys, once again, this live stream was to update you on the big news. EB-5 investor visa program is now being reduced to 500,000. A lot of investors have been waiting for this, from 900,000 to 500,000. It is time to apply now for EB-5 if you can afford it. Remember also that this program is going to be extended, hopefully, by the end of the month. Big changes from USCIS, extending flexibility, and also a quick update I gave you about US embassies and consulates worldwide. Expect for amazing videos coming from our channel in the next week. More updates from USCIS, more updates on lawsuits, and more surprises I have for you. I'm going to work on this on videos this weekend. Anyway, thanks for watching this live stream. Once again, I appreciate all of you for tuning in, for commenting, for supporting our channel. You guys are the reason why I'm making those videos every single week. So, thanks a lot, and I'll see you in our next video.